Approach, my child, and choose where your new life shall begin. So be it.
What's up guys, and welcome to another episode of Fox Guide Skyrim Mods. As you can tell from my channel, I love the Rance series. I feel really bad for you, but I kinda need to kill these guys. I'll make you a deal. If this whirlwind shot hits, I will not kill you. You done fucked up. So I thought today we go over a couple of mods that'll allow you to have a very Rance-like playthrough in Skyrim. And if you have no idea who Rance is, he is the protagonist of the adult video game series named after him. If that interests you, maybe check out my Let's Play. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. The first thing we need is our dedicated healer and best girl, debatable, Syl. But instead of simply recommending you healing waifu mod number 76,
Heal up here.
I'll let you decide on who gets that title with Be With Healer by MuscleX2. This mod allows you to add support functionality to any NPC in the game. Now to start this, you'll need to activate the mod in the MCN menu. This will bring up various information you need about the mod and its features. After that, you'll simply talk to the NPC you want to heal and choose which healing mode you want to use. Target List adds a power to select potential healing targets. Auto Finding has a script run that can dynamically choose targets automatically but can get stuck. And Vanilla is the least script heavy but only allows healing on the player character. Finally, in addition to simple combat healing, this mod allows your follower to use a variety of spells to assist you in your adventure, including Mage Light, armor spells, and illusion buffs. Opening the MCM menu, you can adjust most aspects of the healing, but on top of that, you will find this mod also has two other forms of support: Defender, that prioritizes enemies that are attacking allies, and Illusionist, that buffs allies and debuffs enemies with magic, though I couldn't reliably get that functionality to work. Another nice feature is the ability to add basic healers to the enemy faction, but once again, I could not reliably test this function. Finally, one thing that should be noted is that despite being able to tweak your healer's combat AI data in the MCM menu to stand back and heal only like Syl would, I recommend just using this mod on a mage follower, as my attempts at turning Lydia into a dedicated healer only had her standing her ground while the battle slowly moved away from her and outside of her healing range. For Rance's trusty sword Chaos, we need a few things. First, it has to be a great sword. Second, it has to talk to the player. And finally, it needs to do increased damage to monsters. And whilst this mod does not have that last requirement, it does clear the first two. Lilarcor by InsanitySorrow is a scavenger hunt mod where you find the parts of the talking sword Lilarcor of the Baldur's Gate series, then find the crafting manual, then find the forge to craft it. Now, I'm not going to spoil where the parts are located. Doesn't know, the cheating bastard. But what I can tell you is that even the book used to start this adventure is hidden. Or I'm an idiot. Both are quite possible. Moving on. Now, as for the stats of this weapon, Lilarcor is a steel type weapon and starts with 22 damage, the equivalent to an ebony weapon, and can be upgraded all the way to Daedric level stats. Finally, this weapon advertises over 100 lines of dialogue.
If that tail brushes past me again, you're gonna lose it. Why is it I have to face the end that smells?
But during my time with this weapon, it repeated several lines and had a strange slowdown on some of the lines, so warning to all newcomers to this mod. Still, this mod is very unique as far as my searching went, it's one of the few talking weapon mods in the entire Nexus. Not a glowing endorsement, but an endorsement nonetheless. Okay, now we're at the point where some of y'all were waiting for this and others y'all were rolling your eyes. Now you can't call yourself a Rance game without being able to screw your enemies both literally and figuratively. So that's where SexLab Defeat by Goubu comes into play. You might think this mod from Lover's Lab is just a basic combat sex mod. Actually, Defeat takes its name seriously and adds more content to defeats in general. When it comes to NPC defeats, they'll fall into their bleed out state, and from there you can tie them up, and after that you gain new options ranging from what you would expect from a Lover's Lab mod, to stealing their items, to kidnapping them, to outright killing them, or simply leaving them alone now that they're no longer a threat to you. If you want to skip the knockdown part, you can sneak up on an enemy and force them to submit without combat by scaring them. Truly, this mod allows you to be far more evil than the entirety of Fallout 4. When you fall in combat, instead of dying, you will fall into a bleed out state. If you have a follower with you, they can keep fighting to protect you, but if they fall as well, or you are alone, then you're fucked. Literally or figuratively, once again, depending on the settings. After that, your character will start a random scenario. One where they're left alone, where the bandits will walk away. They can potentially take your stuff and throw you out of their camp/dungeon, or if you were defeated by a guard, you'll be thrown into the dungeon like the bandit filth you are. One thing to note is that by default, NPCs won't participate in certain functions of this mod if their morality won't allow it. This can cause some confusion if you demand your follower do something and they just don't, but that can be simply disabled in the MCM menu. Finally, the functionality of this mod is highly configurable, to the point that if sex mods are not your thing, then you can simply disable those aspects and still retain defeat's secondary functions. You can tweak things like the odds of certain events taking place after a player's defeat, the requirements for a player to be defeated, or even configure how NPCs can defeat each other without the player's contribution at all. Now, we may have chaos, but that is only one of Rance's primary weapons. His most devastating weapon is the Rance attack. Now, even Rance himself does not understand how this move works, but I believe we can achieve a similar effect with this mod, Imbued Weapons, by ChizFoShiz. After seeking out the strange shrine north of the Silent Moon camp, you will gain the ability to apply the Bloodskal effect from Dragonborn onto any weapon you desire, and if you want it to be exactly like Rance, make sure to use the forward and backwards power attack to fire a horizontal energy blade. I prefer the backwards one because it doesn't move you nearly as much as the forward power attack does. The MCM menu in this mod allows you to change how damage is scaled, manipulate critical hits, though at the time of this video it seems to be bugged, and change the color of the energy blade. I choose white to keep with the Rance theme. Finally, what is a man without his cape? And Rance's green cape is core to his heroic image. For this, we obviously need to go to Cloaks of Skyrim by Noodles. This mod is pretty well known in the community, but let's go over its features anyway. COS adds various cloaks and capes to Skyrim matching its cold climate. These include normal colored cloaks, including a few green ones that will be used for a Rance run, Holden faction cloaks for each major area in Skyrim, and several unique cloaks with special effects added onto them. One must remember though, this mod manipulates the outfit data of NPCs and some characters directly, so be careful of conflicts. Now the mod is very old, so you'll also need to use the USKP patch for Cloaks of Skyrim, and even furthermore, you'll need to search in the forums of that mod for an updated USLEEP version. And finally, to push this mod into 2016 territory, you can get Illustrious HDT Cloaks of Skyrim by Euphy, which automatically switches the player worn cloaks with the HDT enabled version, allowing the beauty of HDT effects without the serious strain of if an entire hold was wearing HDT cloaks. Please leave in the comment section any other mod recommendations for a Rance theme playthrough that I may have just flat out missed. And if you have any other games or series you'd like to see me make a build for a Skyrim equivalent, just leave it in the comment section. I look forward to reading it, and I'll see you guys next time.